going on, family? This is Ken Miller, and you're tuning in to Real Labs Real Radio 104.1, your nightcap of comedy. Thank you guys so much. We are back. It is a brand new year, 2023, and we're back. All new shows this week, so thank you guys so much for tuning in. Join the virtual studio with Patricio from With Aside the Chaos Podcast. He's kicking it with us tonight. Jeff Kaufman from the Law Office of Kaufman and Lynn and the Under Oath Podcast, and Miguel Colon Jr. James is out tonight because one of his 25 kids is having a birthday, so he decided that he wasn't going to be able to hang with us tonight. So happy birthday to whatever kid is having a birthday for James, because he has like 25 kids. But we got a special guest kicking it with us tonight. This is my dog. He will be at the Orlando Improv January the 12th at 7:30. Go get your tickets. My dog, the OG, Mr. Rod Z. Y'all put your hands together for Rod Z, Rod Z, Rod Z.
Thank you. Appreciate it. How you doing, Ken? Happy New Year to you and all the fellas. God bless and thanks for having me tonight.
Man, brother, thank you for being on, man. We start every show when we have our interviews the same way. We ask you your origin story. How long have you been doing comedy? And when did you start? How long have you been doing comedy? And how was your first ever show on stage?
Well, this upcoming June, I'll hit the 25-year mark. So trying to put something together to commemorate that. I don't usually do stuff like that, but I feel like, I better do it now because you never know. So 25 years. My origin story, I started actually at my college, which is the big reason that I do clean comedy. I went to Bethune-Cookman. It's a private school and it's a Christian-based school. And so every event that I hosted or performed at, you couldn't curse. And so I kept going. I come from a very, what you call spiritual family also. My grandmother was alive then when I first started. So that was part of the consideration. But I started at my college. I hosted, actually it was an accident. I got up on stage because there was a delay in a talent show. And people were getting antsy, and I knew everybody at the school, so I got up and I just started messing around. It wasn't any material. I was just messing with people, and people were like, "You ought to tell jokes." So I actually hosted the next event, and that's how my career started.
You know what's crazy, man? I hear a lot of comedians start that way. Like, hey, man, it was some silence. So I jumped on stage and I just started being me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because some of the funniest comedians, we're just ourselves. A lot of people are like, yo, that's like, my wife will tell you, I'm Ken Miller all the time. Like,
right.
So that's crazy that's how your story. How did the show go?
It wasn't. It really wasn't about me. It went well, but then when I actually did my first show, I hosted. So that was good too, because I opened up with like 5 or 10 minutes. And I did well, and then I hosted. I didn't try to be funny. I was just myself.
Yeah.
But material I wrote, they actually laughed at it, and I was like, oh, I guess I can go ahead and try this. I knew I wanted to be an entertainer because I'm a musician also. So I was already accustomed to being in front of people, and the crowd didn't scare me, so that wasn't a problem. So I'm very fortunate, man. My first big comedy show was on Valentine's Day, 1997.
Damn.
He's like, Pac was in the audience. Big was there. Big L.
It was Don D.C. Curry, Chris Thomas, Arnez J, and Cheryl Underwood, and I got to host. Because my friend Corey, my best friend Corey Fallon, shout out to Corey. He was working for Coca-Cola. He drove the Coca-Cola truck, and he was delivering sodas to this club called Cheek to Cheek. I don't know if you guys remember Cheek to Cheek, but
it sounds good.
Yeah, it do sound, yeah. I don't remember that club.
At the time, it was one of the hottest clubs in Orlando, and the promoter used to bring big shows to Orlando. His name is Robert Johnson, and Robert allowed me to be the host for that big show, and the rest is history, man. So I've been very fortunate that I got access to a lot of people that I probably have to wait years for, but through that one show, I got connected, and so it's been a blessing, man. It really has.
Comedy is the only like profession I know about like that, Ken, where you could be like, my homeboy was driving a Coke truck and they was like, yo, we need a host. And I was in the sidecar. Like, you can't do that. That's not how you become a sheriff. You know, like, yo, they was robbing a liquor store and I was like, I got it. And they were like, it's something about you, kid. You know?
Yeah. Well, back then it was all about getting on stage and delivering. You know, things have changed now with technology. You can prove yourself in other ways, but back then you got up on stage and you delivered or you didn't. And it just was fortunate for me. I had a good set. Like I said, it was like 10 minutes long, and it wound up being in my favor, man. So I'm very grateful, man. And I love what I do. I love comedy. I love entertaining, period.
Nice. January 12th, Orlando Improv. Rod Z will be there. Worst show you ever? What's the worst show, my brother, you have ever done? Like the one that when you sit and talk to people, you be like, bro, I was at.
It was a church in Tampa. I do a lot of church events, but and usually at the church it's a little bit more laid back than the comedy club. You typically don't bomb at a church, and I bombed at the church because
there's less bottle service.
It was a lot of old people, and they were like real hardcore Christian, man. And some of the stuff I talk about at church ain't about the Bible or church at all. Yeah. And I thought somebody was going to stand up and say, stone him. I was like, yeah, let me get out of here, man. It was bad.
Hey, Ron, let me ask you, was it one of those where like, you know, you're going to be doing like 20 minutes or 30 minutes or even 10 minutes and like 2 minutes into it, you're like, oh God, this ain't going to work. Was it one of those? Or
no, No, to me, it was worse because I started out great, and then we just got to this segment of the show, and I just ran into a wall, man. And it got. If I performed 30 minutes, I'd say I was up a good 15 minutes, but the last 15 minutes took away the whole beginning. It was brutal. Yeah. The first, I lost all momentum and pulled a hamstring, bro. It was terrible. I pulled a hammy, bro.
Rod Z, January 12th, Orlando Improv. Make sure you go get your tickets. We talk on the phone a lot, man. Yeah. We talk about you trying to get back into the club scene because church is what you do. Yeah. What made you steer more towards being I'm not gonna say a Christian comic, but more of a clean comic because you don't cuss. I've worked with you. You let me cuss. But you let me cuss all I want, which always makes a good show for the two of us together. But what made you go that dynamic where you said, I'm going to be clean, I'm going to do church, I'm going to do corporate? Like, why take that route instead of the club route like most comics?
I got more gigs. It was partly money. Like I said, I come from a very spiritual family, but I'm grown and I will bust a customer. I mean, if I get to the Improv Thursday and they don't have my money, I'm gonna be cussing pretty good. But no, I started out clean, so it wasn't hard to continue. And I would watch like the late night shows with the comedians, and I'm like, you can't curse on TV back then. So I was like, I'll just keep it clean. And then I started getting the old ladies call and say, could you come do our pastor's anniversary next Tuesday? And I just kept going, man. So, I know this whole entertainment thing for me, I hate to sound cliche, but I know it's God because I had no idea how things took off so rapidly for me. I was in the right place at the right time, man. But that's why I was clean, because I was getting clean in corporate gigs. So I was like, okay, well, it's kind of like an artist or a singer, and all of a sudden they do they sound one way underground, but then they do that song that everybody like. They're like, no, we're gonna stay over here where the money at.
Hey, chill out on J. Cole, okay?
Go ahead, Patricio. What you got?
I wanted to ask. Do you feel like you drive your comedy more from like personal experience or for more observational comedy?
I try to do a little bit of both. I try to. Most of it's personal. A lot of the routines I've been doing for years is personal stuff. But as time has progressed, I'm more into observational comedy now. I'm more into, because I think observational is more. To me, it's more laid back. I just feel like it's time for me to start challenging myself, which is why I was talking to Ken. I want to do more, be in the club scene again, because it's, to me, it's more challenging, more fun.
Yeah,
I got a question. You know, you're negotiating with the church. You go in there, they go, baby, could you play Sunday? And you give them their price. They start speaking in tongues when you say stuff like that? Or they,
No, because church, it's a lot of church. I'm gonna just go and put it out there. It's a lot of churches and pastors out there. They hustlers too. A lot of these pastors from the streets, man. So they like, okay, we can handle that. He got that in his pocket. He don't be worried about
That church building fund,
Right. They hustlers, man. So they like, okay, we can handle that.
Hey, I would say one of the biggest checks I got was a church gig.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, man. I got about 10 to 12 minutes that I could do in church, and after that, they got to put a brick wall behind me.
There are more churches than there are comedy clubs, though.
Yeah.
So you have to keep that. At one point, I was going practically every weekend or every other weekend traveling to a church. So
I was just about to ask, is there like a comedy church circuit that some comedians like go through?
No, it's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of phone calls, a lot of negotiating, and a lot of just wheeling and dealing. You have to just get in touch with people and network. I met a lot of pastors through my pastor, and it went from there. So it's kind of like the same way they travel and go preach at different places.
Yeah.
But
is it daytime shows? Is it daytime shows?
No, nighttime, maybe Friday or Saturday.
10 o'clock in the morning, Sunday, wrap this up, go to brunch.
No, you have to catch like a special event, like a pastor's anniversary, or man, I did a whole tour with a comedian named Akintunde. He had a whole tour lined up. So it's just a lot of getting on the phones and trying to make some dates happen. And it's very difficult, but it's worth it, like Ken said, because you can go to a church and receive a blessing.
Rod Z, January 12th at the Orlando Improv. You went to Bethune-Cookman. That's your school. You rep your school. Why HBCU?
Mainly because I started out playing drums. I'm a percussionist, so I started playing drums at the 4th grade. And once I got to junior high and high school, I knew I wanted to be. I was just exposed to black colleges and the Black College Marching Band. So I didn't even want to go to school, y'all. I just wanted to be in the band, and it just turns out that if you go and take classes, you can get a degree. So I just want to be in that vibe, man. And once I visited a black college, man, it changed my life, man. It really did. It changed it for the better because my high school's predominantly black. I went to Jones High School. But college, it was just a different vibe, man. And then at the time, y'all remember the TV show Different World?
Yeah.
Yep.
With Whitley? That show had come out, and then School Days, the movie came out. So I was like, I got to go and see if this like this for real.
Cool. Well, Rod Z, brother, thank you, man, for kicking it with us. January 12th, Rod Z will be at the Orlando Improv. Shout out your social media. You can shout out your fraternity. Shout out everybody, man. You got about 30 seconds.
Man, I got a long list, man. Shout out to my family, first of all the Angus family all over the world. Shout out to Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Shout out to the Prince Hall Masons. And shout out to all my alumni from Jones High School. We together, we tight. And all my comedians all over the world. Love y'all. Appreciate you. And thank God for all of you guys. Keep doing what you're doing because we still need comedy, whether people show it or not, because a lot of people trying to cancel us. But keep telling these jokes, man. And I don't know if you guys know or not, but the national championship is on, or what the hell y'all doing tonight.
Well, this pre-recorded, so we'll be done here soon. We get up out of here.
Yeah, y'all should have post-recorded this because I was missing the damn game. I'm seeing now y'all got me cussing.
All right, we got to go. Rosie, I love you, brother. Thanks for kicking it, man.
Thank you so much, guys.
This is Real Labs. We got to take a commercial break. We'll be right back. Real Labs, we're Radio 104.1. We're back. Real Labs, we're Radio 104.1, your nightcap of comedy. Make sure you go to Instagram, follow, Facebook, follow, Twitter, follow. Go to YouTube, subscribe to our page. You want to see these beautiful faces. And if you miss any of these shows, take your ass to the iHeartMedia app and search Real Labs. We got like 700 episodes, and I say 100, baby. We got 700 episodes, so you can be on a long car ride and put us on and listen all the way to your destination. Join your virtual studio with my boy Miguel Colon Jr. How you doing, brother? Happy
What up,
New
good?
Year.
Happy New Year, man. I haven't seen you since. Happy New Year.
Yeah, we were at the Improv last year, right?
That was the last time. Was the show? What show
was it? My show?
It was your show and Carmen's show. That's the last time I saw you. Carmen Morales show.
Yeah, we had a good drink. We had a good. I don't even say drunk no more. I got drank that night.
Hey guys, me and Ken. It's the end of the show. Carmen's wrapping it up. We're hanging out by his merch table. We're just kicking it. Honest to God, about 1 minute before Carmen Morales came off, Ken's like, "Oh snap, B, you got to run up there for me. Somebody's got to end the show." Like, and then Carmen don't know what's going on. She finishes up. I run up there. She's like, "You're about to do some time." I said, "Nah, man, Ken's been drinking. He got his merch table. He forgot."
Yeah. So what we were doing was we were flip flopping. And so I would have, like the night before, I had Chris go up just to close the show out so we both can get outside and do merch. You know what I'm saying? Because I worked with Preacher this last weekend and we shotgun. But I have to also come back up. Excuse me. Come back up and close the show. So when you say it's over, everybody takes off. And I'm trying to fight through everybody to get to my merch table. So I was having somebody come up. So I appreciate you doing that, man. Thanks so much, man.
Nobody knew. Hey, Krista popped her head out. Everybody was like, "What's going on? There's more time."
Yeah, I appreciate that. I also joined the Verse Studio with us from With a Side of Chaos podcast, Mr. Rocky Patricio. Patricio was with us Monday for the show. We had a good time talking about the best chicken, girl fights, and not eating at white people's houses.
Yeah. White people clean the kitty litter up before people come over, please.
Do not have your cat in the kitchen, yo.
Mr. Snuffles likes to sit on the table with everyone.
And also, last but not least, my brother in law from the Law Offices of Kaufman and the Under Oath podcast, one of my good friends, Mr. Jeff Kaufman. Happy New Year, Jeffrey.
I missed all of you. Well, almost all of you.
Man.
I was going to say even me.
How old are you, Patricio?
I'm 37.
30. How do you got all that gray?
I work in law.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm trying to figure it out. But Ken Miller, I missed you, man. I missed you.
I missed you too, brother. How was your New Year, brother? What you do for New Year, my friend?
I was in Mexico, man.
Ooh.
I was in Cancun, man.
My hometown.
Nice.
I was there for 4.5 days.
Like
I
family?
say 4.5 because
like,
I don't remember half of the fifth one.
Was you? Was it like you was with Newland? You was by yourself with your lady?
Yeah, I was with Newland.
Newland texts you up.
Yeah.
Just like,
hey, big head.
Yeah,
Hey,
he's
big
like,
head.
Cancun tomorrow. Bring your passport, purple panties, bitch.
Yeah, that's the way it works, man. Because it was just like, the worst part about it is he's healthy. So he says, "Hey, you want to do CrossFit?" I'm going, I barely make it up the stairs.
Yeah.
And they got me doing things, and I'm puffing. I'm in this Mexican. We're in this Mexican. How can I say it? Places we aren't supposed to be, but that's where the gym is.
Mhm.
So they tell us beforehand, be careful when you get out of the car. I said, so the exercise was actually how fast I sprinted from the car to the warehouse. No. I said, I'm done. I got my exercise.
Yo, I wouldn't have. Dog, imagine because Newland is in shape. I've seen a picture of him.
Yeah.
He's a big
beast.
dude.
Yeah.
I see him dancing with Pitbull.
Yeah, and I'm
That's the
just
one.
like,
Yeah.
I don't work out, so you want me to go work out, and I don't. What if you would have had the heart attack in Mexico? You don't want no Mexican heart.
Well, he can pay for my
It makes him all fiery. He gets a Mexican transplant, and now he's a little guy. He's got a little more machismo. He's like sitting there, like combing his hair in the trial, winking at the judge. She's like, I don't get this. He's like, let's go to chambers. But just me and you. And juror number 6, you can come too.
Yeah, yeah. You have a heart attack in Mexico, you become a mule, right?
Yeah, you're dead.
Is that how that
They'll
works?
just stick it. They'll put it in my rib cage. And
We gave you a new heart, but your legs are loaded with heroin. So
Yeah.
free healthcare, amigo.
It's
Oh,
fentanyl
man.
now. They load you up with fentanyl. No more cocaine anymore.
And pray that bag don't bust.
Mhm.
That's it, man. Well,
There's like a little kid yelling at Dan Newland. He's like, "Hey, Danny, I tell you come around one more time." Dan's like, "I just wanted to bring my friend to the gym." Like, who is this? Be like, Newland got a lot of power until he gets to Oaxaca, And then he's just another weirdo on the streets, man.
Now Miguel tells these stories about Spirit all the time. I've heard. I love his routine about Spirit. And I want you to know something. I have another take on Spirit. Spirit is just that you're wishing that you can get home.
Yeah,
because that plane never arrives.
Yeah,
you're going. What is it? I think a ghost flew by the off ramp.
Yeah, flight attendants come out and they're like, "Which one of y'all know how to fly?" My man, yo, hey, we're leaving. You know.
Yeah,
7 hours late.
See, I got no problem.
7 hours late. 7 hours late.
7 hours late.
I had to go into Colorado once. It was like I took the earliest flight in the morning because my whole theory is you get that first early flight, you're the next. If anything comes late, you're the first one to get bumped. And me and this girl, we sat there at the airport Chili's probably 5-6 hours, just bump.
Yeah, I try my best to. I'm the same. I take the earliest flight, especially if I got a comedy.
I got a show. Yeah,
I cannot miss. To the point now, I won't even take Spirit. I won't take a cheap flight if I got comedy. I will put that money in and get Delta because I'm scared. I just started doing a joke now about Spirit, about how I fly my whole family down on Spirit. And I fly my whole family.
Yeah, when
down
it comes to that
shit,
shit,
and then everybody claps. Like I bought all the plane tickets. They're like, yeah, and I'm like, no, I bought them on Spirit.
Yeah,
I said, because you can get a whole plane for $49 on Spirit. Like,
yeah, you can as long as you don't want to bring an extra pair of underwear.
Yeah,
when they charge you.
I don't see why Spirit gets such a bum rap. I've been flying Spirit for like 5-6 years.
Tricia, you live with 19 people, man. It's a different world for you. You've never sat on a cold toilet seat. It's always warm at your house. You know?
Yo, you are hitting too close to the nail right now, Miguel.
Patricio, it's what they call a hot rack. Your bed is never cool.
A hot rack, bro. But Jeff, happy to have you back, man. Glad you had a good New Year. Missed you, brother. So we talked about what we did on New Year's. So what you do on New Year's, Miguel?
We had a party. UC, we had a party at his house. We have a New Year's party every year. And as I've been doing lately, I invited Patricio. I've invited him to the last 3 parties. And Patricio this time showed up to his New Year's Eve party with a platoon of dudes. Like literally, he came out of the car. It was a clown car of dudes. And I was like, what the, who the hell are these? He's like, and then he had a story for every dude. He's like, this is my one buddy. He had like a real mental breakdown. I thought he should come. This is my other buddy. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know any of these dudes. And they're all smiling like, oh man, so glad you invited us. And I'm like, I didn't.
No,
I had no expectation that Patricio was going to bring 19 dudes. He had there was a secondary squad leader, had a young lieutenant,
Hey, the one got shot and then picked the flag up and
kept going. Patricio's like, I got Rod Z was playing drums, The first 2 cars pulled up and Patricio's like, yeah, man, the rest of H&S company's back there, but they're going to be here soon. I was like, what is... Oh. He's like, but we brought girls. It's like 2 girls with the dudes. And I'm like, oh, that's great. That's basically like showing up to a party. Like I brought beers and you're drinking it. You know?
Yeah.
So Patricio, he's on warning. I hope you had a good time though, Patricio.
I had a blast.
Good. I'm glad all the dudes you brought had a good blast too. The whole starting lineup of the.
But did he tell you?
No.
Wow.
No, I didn't know he was bringing a bunch of dudes.
Patricio.
And he shows up, and Patricio's like a puppy. He shows up super excited. So it's like I'm trying to match his energy because I could tell he's here to have a good time. That's my homeboy Patricio. But I'm already like 3 arguments deep on people at this event because it's a semi-formal affair. You don't have to be super formal, but I mean, come on, throw a collared shirt and some slacks on. It's in the invitation. And dudes are already showing up in shorts, and I'm like, hey man, I don't know who you are, but you can't come here dressed like this. Go change, Because our whole thing is this. We got photographers and videographers there. When you look at the pictures, we got this saying, man, I don't care if it's a $2 Walmart shirt and a pair of slacks is all you got. If you show me that you're dressing up with what you have, you're here to respect the rules, have a good time. There's dudes there in shorts and T-shirts. And I'm like, bro, you're not coming in. You're not coming in. Like we have photographers and videographers. I want to look at this video and see all these people celebrating New Year's, looking nice, having a good time. And then Patricio come out with 75 dudes, man, hitting the field like a football team. They just came ripping through the paper.
And not to put my people on blast too, but I kind of got bombarded at the last second. And I'm a nice guy. I'm like,
man.
You know what? I know I'm gonna get my ass shoot out. I know.
No,
there was one point. I don't know if I could talk about.
Yeah,
this.
say it.
There was one point that we're in the castle, and some dude just like walked past by you, and I don't know what he said or what he did, but you just were like, "Listen, bro, you."
I grabbed him and threw him back and told him he bumped into me and gave me a dirty look. Like he could have bumped into me and been like, "I'm sorry," and I'd be like, "Hey, it's crowded," like I get it, Yeah, Patricio, he bumped. There was that big German dude. He bumped into me and gave me a dirty look, and I grabbed him by the chest. I threw him back, and I said, "Don't bump into me." And then he like gave me a look and walked past me, and then I grabbed him. I threw him back, and he looked at me because he didn't do anything wrong that time. I said that was better.
No, I will say this. I will say this. It was a great time. You guys throw an amazing party. However, it felt like Blitzkrieg because there were just so many Germans there that night.
A Disney party showed up. So what happens is, guys, one of the little secret to the underworld of the Sausage Castle is we host every now and then these things called Disney parties. And what it is the kids from the Disney College program, all the ones that are 21, because they're all like, some of them are like 18, 19 stuff. They can't go anywhere. But the 21-year-olds, they set up with buses to go take them out downtown to bars and stuff. Well, these guys are from Europe. Bars don't close at 2. Jeff, you've been all around Europe and stuff like that. Like to a young European person, 2 o'clock, they just got out to the bar an hour ago, So we host the after party for all the 21-year-old Disney kids, and buses show up with a couple hundred Disney kids from all around the world. And this time it was Germany deep, and we got Blitzkrieg by the German party.
Yeah,
crew.
I had so much PTSD that night, man. They were
bro. It was Germans.
What, you ain't Jewish? What are you worried about?
No, my previous
his previous girlfriend was German.
Well, yeah, I told him that. I said,
Yeah.
to him, I said, I gave you and you took her back. You took it.
Jeff,
I gave you the warning.
That's
I
a
know.
whole other
I know,
podcast.
My
episode.
people know.
I have been 2.5 months German free, so I'm good to go.
Not at this party. You got surrounded. You got surrounded by. Hey, them German dudes is big 2 in a year. Here's the thing about a Disney party. Whenever we host these Disney events, these kids are the worst people on the face of the earth because one, they don't know where they are. They don't know this is somebody's house. They don't know what this weird nightclub is. They don't know what's going. They drove an hour from downtown to get there, and they're going to be there till like 4 or 5 in the morning. That's about the party ended about 5 in the morning this time.
Yeah.
And these Disney kids are going to be there till like 5 in the morning till the bus gets them. So when a Disney party happens, back in the old days, Mike wouldn't even tell us. We'd just be throwing a party, and somebody would be at security, be like, "Hey, there's 3 buses pulling up," and I'm like, "Who's in the bus?" And then Mike would be like, "We got a Disney party," and everybody would be like, "What?" Because it's all hands on deck. Now it's going to get wild. Now we're organized. We know. But when a Disney party happens, I'm 41 years old, and I'm like, "Yep, I'm probably going to get in a fight with a 22-year-old kid," and you got to end it fast because man, they're 22. He's stronger. He's got energy. They all know jiu-jitsu now, bro.
Yeah,
they are 22-year-olds.
When
They
I
whoop
found
your
out
ass.
when I found out it was a college program, and then I found out some of them were part of the international program, like that's when things started clicking.
Yeah.
Because there are certain mannerisms, certain behaviors that we have here in America. Like you don't cut someone in line at the bar.
Yeah.
Like there was one dude where I had to check myself because like guy just barged right in, came in front of me, and he's already ordered drinks for all his people. I'm like, I look at my friend, I'm like, I don't want to say nothing, but this guy's about to start something with me.
Yeah.
And
Man,
I
we
had to pull back.
we got to run the commercial real quick, man. Patricio can't fight.
Oh, stop.
He didn't need to. He had 19 dudes with him. He brought 37 guys. He didn't
He
need to
got a
fight.
little muscle shirt on right now, trying to be tough, man.
Yeah,
Don't put
he just shrunk it.
And look at him smoking, trying to be tough, man.
He vaping. He ain't even smoking. He vaping.
Because I can't vape inside. I can't smoke inside, but vape.
Drinking water
All right,
vapor in a
man.
woman's shirt.
we got to go to commercial break, man. We be right back. Real Labs, Real Radio 104.1. Real Labs, Real Radio 104.1, your nightcap of comedy. My name is Ken Miller. I am in the big chair tonight. Make sure you go to Instagram, follow, Facebook, follow, Twitter, follow, go to YouTube, subscribe to our page, and go to the iHeartMedia app and search Real Labs and listen to all of our old shows. Join the virtual studio with Rocky, Jeff Kaufman, and Miguel Colon Jr. I got to give a shout out, man, to Preacher Lawson. I spent the weekend with Preacher in West Palm Beach Improv. We got to talk comedy. Got to talk comedy. Dear people, you're not going to win when you heckle. Just know you're not going to win when you heckle. You're either going to get the comics either going to eat you alive or you're going to get thrown out. Period. Like you're not. There's no way where a heckler has. Even if you come on stage and hit the comic, you're gonna probably get your ass kicked. Like, there's no way you win at the end of this.
Will Smith's the first heckler to win.
He
You got to sit back down,
Literally.
enjoy the show, get an award.
and he won and 27 million. That's
Yeah.
the record.
If you did the Fresh Prince and then produced the new Fresh Prince, you allowed to get one in, I
Yeah.
guess, but nobody else has done that.
Bro, go ahead, Jeff.
Here's the thing that I'm not saying this, but I think we're setting ourselves up now. Every time I turn on the internet, there's this white comedian, and all he does is heckler videos.
Ugh.
And I kind of think he kind of brings it. He's like going, yeah, this is what people do at events, and this is what's funny now. And he should go, we're not doing this. But when you give an attention to it, and the video has 1 million views, 2 million, and people are going, oh, this is what you do at a show. This is not what you do at a show.
Jeff, you
And I
got
think that's what
some
I'm doing.
validity to that because lots of comics we know are posting like these heckler videos. And one of the worst parts about it is people post heckler videos where they don't destroy the heckler. And I'm like, what are you doing then? What are you doing? Like, why post this if you're not destroying the heckler,
I think they're doing it for attention. They think it's funny. They're creating conflict. They're not really putting any of their act on, but it's like the equivalent without losing material. And I've seen so many of those lately.
I see that. Yeah, Jeff. So they don't have to put their original material out. They're like, well, let me put out this heckler owned. Like I watched one of them. And it was like heckler owned, and I was like, you didn't even do anything.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even a heckler. The comic was like, yeah, I'm from Orlando, and the comedian was like, I'm from Winter Park, and then the comedian said something quick back, and was like, owned them. I'm like, but you didn't own them. Like,
Yeah.
it
It's like jamming on kids at the Special Olympics.
yeah,
Just dunk.
That's like dunking on your kid when he's sick.
Crossing
isn't-
over a
isn't
Special Olympian.
Isn't that just
that
our
big head of
desire?
yours?
Isn't that our desire to watch just confrontation, whether it's a punch in a Waffle House or just two people just going at it? Don't we as a society love watching
A
confrontation?
punch in a Waffle House just means your eggs are going to be right.
Yeah.
If I'm watching my
don't-
Waffle House cook fight, I'm like, yo, he got this.
I am always so mad when I see a fight at the Waffle House because that is my home. And I feel like people are doing evil things in my home.
It's supposed to be like Switzerland. It's supposed to be neutral territory. Like
Yeah.
you're supposed to be able to walk into Waffle House,
Hey.
handcuffed to a police car door, look at a cop, and they'd be like, "Get it to go."
Hey, bro. The Waffle House has Geneva conventions. Like,
Yeah.
you should. Hey, you got the Geneva. There's rules to this.
Yeah.
you can't do that, bro.
You'll end up at the Hague, like arguing your case in front of the World Court.
and for all you guys who don't know military, look up Geneva Convention. There's rules to this, bro. You can't break the Geneva
They're
Convention.
non-combatants. They're non-combatants.
What is it? The UCMJ? What is it called? Yeah.
So the military
They're like
justice,
medics.
Yeah,
They're
there's
like
the Waffle.
medics.
There's the WCJ, the Waffle House Code of Justice.
Hey, just say it again. What is it? They're like what?
They're like medics.
Yeah, you can't shoot the medic 10 up, bro.
Nothing.
You're
Everything's
targeted.
closed. Hurricane closes everything. Not Waffle House.
Mm-mm.
Tornadoes. Anything. Not Waffle House.
No, we
Blizzards,
talked about that. Waffle House got their own weather system.
Waffle House has their own strike team. Waffle House 1.
Yeah.
They'll send it into a huddle house and light them up. There's a whole wet team. They're all former Rangers and SEAls, They just come landing in there.
You know what I say, Miguel? The Waffle House. You know what the Huddle House is? Is the Waffle House? The Huddle House is like Waffle House is Fruit Loops, and the Huddle House is those bags of cereal.
Yeah, you don't know what you're getting. You don't know what hours the Huddle House is open, what they sell.
I don't trust them.
You just know what the Huddle House does? They have to pick their package up from the Waffle House.
Yeah,
Because the Waffle House supply the Huddle House. Huddle
yeah.
House move in, Waffle House rolls up. Hey, this is nice. You got a nice little thing here. So here's the deal. You're gonna be your eggs come from us. 80% markup. Like, we can't survive like that. Well, you better sell mozzarella sticks or some other weird stuff because this is Waffle House territory. Every Friday, my man's gonna come here. You kick up.
Yeah, right.
But no, them Waffle House employees are tough. There was the latest video that's going viral right now is the dude who threw the chair at the cook and she caught it midair.
Yeah, you don't throw a chair to Waffle. That's day 1S for a Waffle. That's part of the training. She didn't even know it was a real fight. She thought somebody from corporate was there running a drill. You know, she didn't even
she
know.
thought it was Undercover Boss.
Yeah. Oh, you got me, Sally. Throwing chairs. I remember that. Paragraph 6, Article 5, Uniform Waffle House Code of Justice.
Oh man,
Waffle House is real deal. Like compared to other diners, you go to another diner and like you're going to go out to your car and you see like some strange dude outside walking around talking to himself. You go inside the diner and you tell that employee, you're like, hey, I'm sorry, there's some strange dude outside talking to himself. The other diner is going to be like, stay here. We'll call the police. I'm sorry you have to deal with that. You go into Waffle House and you tell him, hey, man, there's some dude outside the parking lot talking to himself. The Waffle House employee is going to hand you his gat and be like, yeah, we put our own work out in here. Hey, Terry, they're going to blast you if you don't shut up.
So getting back to it, man. So Preacher does his comedy is more of it's jokes, but it's also conversational. You know what I mean? So his thing is, I ask you a question, you answer the question, I go into my joke. That's pretty much how he does. And so it was a lady up front. She didn't bother me. She didn't bother Mama Louse. Shout out to Preacher Mama, who is hilarious, by the way. She hosts the show. It was great. But she was by herself. She just had a baby. It was her first night out. Man, this lady had 5 Stellas. And when I say she had the bottles upside down in the buckets, and she would not like the bouncer. Hey Jeff, the bouncer was like, "You gotta go," and she was like, "Why?" He was like, "Cause you won't be quiet." But she was like, "He talking to me, Preacher. Like, I ain't asked you a question in 35 minutes. Like, what are we doing?" Kick out.
We were having a conversation here.
By the way, true talk. This is the thing that was beautiful young lady. Not you. Like when I looked at her, I could see, okay, she a mom just trying to get out. But when she was in that hallway, it was, I want the man. Where's the manager? And I was just like, and so Preacher gets a Instagram message from somebody saying, "Hey, love the show. It was great, but if you don't want people to heckle, don't ask questions."
See, man, they tell you you dress that way. That's why it happened.
I was yeah, but if I ask you a question and
you
the
just
question
answer
over, you don't get the shout out 20 minutes later and think that's okay because I was talking to you 20 minutes ago.
People say that all the time when I tell them about hecklers. People be like, "Hey, that's just part of the job." And to me, that's like saying you own a bar and you're like, "Hey, man, sexual assault. That's just part of a bar." You know,
man. Every now and then somebody gonna be like that.
Yeah, you know, sleepy peepee. You don't know.
Sleepy peepee.
Yeah, it's not part of the job. Those are bad people,
not, man. It is not, bro. But we had an amazing weekend.
You sold out. I saw you sold out.
Sold out, man. We had 5 shows. 3 of the 5 were sold out, and the other 2 were so full that and that club seats can get 600.
Wow,
that's a lot of white people too, though. West Palm is
it is,
seriously
Preacher audience. You know what's funny though, Jeff? Preacher audience. It was really mixed because a lot of black people don't know who he is. They just see a black guy on the website. So they see a black comedian on the website.
Like that's what I'm trying to do. Hey, I have the improv tint me up hard.
Yeah, dude. We were talking about that. Like when I do gigs, like if I do a hood ass show, I don't do well. That crowd just doesn't like me. But if I do a show and it's 70% white and 30% hood people are having a blast. And I don't know if it's because the laughter is supposed to be infectious, but hood people will have a great time in mixed company. But if you go to a show that's like 100% hood and they don't like you, dog, they don't like your ass.
This is where I have the biggest problem. If I do a show that's 100% Latino, the crowd thinks it's an interactive show, no matter what.
Yeah.
They do, and they're having a blast, but they won't. But if it's like mixed, even if it's 60% Latino and 40% mixed to other, they'll chill. But if it's 100% Latino, the entire audience is like, "Oh, we'll all talk." Miguel,
that's like, not right there,
own
man.
this place.
Yeah, Panda,
I'm gonna be real with you, man. My favorite audience is a Latino audience.
Of course, they're fun. They're having a good time.
Every show I've ever done.
Beautiful.
My number 1 favorite audience is a Latino audience. Number 2 for me, old black people. I love old black people. Old black people because they've lived through some of the greatest comedians of all time. Nothing bothers old black people. If you see Richard Pryor live, nothing bothers old black people, bro. Black people are old black people and Latinos got to be my 2 favorite crowds.
Do you know who makes me
you had
feel the
great
funniest?
humor back then? You had Red Fox. you had a lot of those guys who were just so good.
Ken, you know who makes me feel like I'm the best comic in the world, though? Rednecks.
Oh,
When I get there, they're like, "Oh God, son, God, son, you funny, man."
Man, hey, come here. Let me take a picture with you, man. For me, it's when a black person tells you the three things: you stupid, you a fool, boy, you crazy. That means you funny. If a black person say any of them things to you, boy, you stupid. Like,
if I could get a black dude to get out of his chair and spin around on a circle, that's better than a standing ovation. Oh, he's stupid. He's stupid.
Yo, he said Spirit Airlines, son. Oh God.
Ken, I want to ask you something real quick. What's up with the chair, the stool you and Preacher be doing every year?
So when Preacher first started headlining, we did a thing where one of us was to get on the chair and the other one would hold the mic. I don't even know why we did it. We just did it because Preacher's a weirdo. So the next show, I was just like, "Hey, we gotta do the bar stool again." And then so now every time I work with him, we do the bar stool, but the last 3 times I got him. I made him do it because y'all know these knees. These knees ain't like Megan. I was on that bar stool for 5 seconds. I told that girl, "If you don't take this damn picture, take this damn picture."
Hey, one time, Ken, there was a stage that was just like a half a step higher than it should have been, and I was like, "Hey, y'all need to get a pallet underneath the steps," because I saw that. I was like, if I got to stretch out to get up here,
bro,
I don't think I'm getting up there without touching the bottom.
I be telling them, bro, man, them knees is not what they used to be, bro. So anyway, man, we got 2 minutes left, man. Another fun show, man. Rocky, where you at this weekend, brother?
This weekend, I'm going to be hosting Adult Bingo at Graffiti Junction College Park beginning at 9 o'clock. Shout out to my boy Clay, who'll be coming out to all the Adult Bingos. He listened to the show, so I got to give Clay a shout out right there.
Cool. Where you at? You got anything going on this weekend, Miguel?
Not this weekend, but the 28th of January, I'll be back at the Boardwalk Bowl over by UCF. That's January 28th. I haven't done Boardwalk Bowl in years since it was old Bonkers room, man.
It's been a minute.
And I used to love that room, man. It would pack out.
Oh, man, I'm booked that night. If I wasn't booked, I was going to come by and kick it with you because he wanted to book me for it, and I want to see how it is before I take it out.
Yeah, it's gonna. I hope it's good, man. It used to be a great room, packed out.
It really
Latino audience too. That was a big Latino room over there.
Right over that way. Oh yeah, heck yeah, bro. Jeff, man, you got anybody on the podcast this week you want to chat about? Or what you got going on?
I'm ridiculously happy about this. I have William Stanford Davis from Abbott Elementary.
Oh,
he was in The Wire too.
Yeah. Oh man, Abbott Elementary is an amazing television show.
It's so good.
Yeah. He's so fantastic. I told him. I said he was amazing.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the white school teacher from Philly.
Oh, she's the best.
Oh man, booty fat to the bug, bro. I'm in love with her. You know I like thug women though. Every time me and my wife get into an argument, I'm like, "Yo, we gonna have sex tonight," because this is what I. This Friday, I'm somewhere in Daytona. I just got booked. It's a new Comedy Zone room, and then I got a corporate gig this Saturday in Ocala. But next week, Jacksonville, Orlando, and Fort Lauderdale. I'm doing a long run with this Irish comedian. I should have looked his name up because y'all know I'm terrible with this. But hey, man, thank you, weirdos, so much for tuning in, man. We got all new shows. We are back for a new year, 2023. It's going to be a great year for Real Laughs. I love you, brother, so much. Thanks for kicking it. I got Rocky. I got Jeff Kaufman from the law office of Kaufman and Lynn, and Miguel Colon Jr. James is out tonight dealing with one of his kids' birthday. I'm Kent Miller. Thank y'all for listening. Now take your ass to bed.